Good afternoon, and how are you doing? This is the ANEW Empowerment Coach, Ivy Caldwell. How are you doing on today? I pray that all is well with you and your family. So, as I mentioned last week, I just want to talk about the family. Start the new year off with the family. You know, we all have a family of origin, and all families have some type of dysfunction within them. But how do you navigate through those murky waters? Some families can be, very toxic, some can be very unemotional. It's just different degrees that we have to deal with. But that is the family that God chose us to be birthed through and come into this world. I mean, have you ever said to yourself or said out loud, I wish I had another family, or I'm not a member of this family, but you indeed are a member of that crazy, toxic, dysfunctional family. I can start with my family. So I have alcoholics in my family, uh, drug addicts. I have incest in my family, uh, physical abuse, domestic violence, homosexuality. I mean, the list can go on. The unforgiveness, when family members aren't talking to one another, just craziness and dysfunction. And you know what? That is why Christ died for each and every one of us. Christ came on the scene so that we can be saved, healed, set free, delivered, and made whole, regardless to what is going on in your family or your bloodline. But we do have to go back at times and take a look at our origin. It's like, where did I come from? How did this start? How did this happen? How did this doubt get here? This fear, this anxiety, this addiction? Why do I feel this way about myself? What words were spoken over me when I was a child? All right. What word curses have been spoken over me when I was a child? And you know what? And I believed them to be truth, but they were lies. So we're going to talk today about just give you a quick overview of the child abuse or neglect. We know that there's various types. The physical abuse, where parents are hitting the children, the verbal abuse, calling them out of their names, taunting them, cursing at them, just making them feel terrible or so low about themselves. Then we have the emotional abuse, all right, sexual abuse. Then we have neglect, we have maltreatment, where the parents aren't taking care of the needs or meeting the needs, and maybe they didn't have the means to meet the needs of their children at certain times as they were growing up. So the child abuse and neglect is real. And you may say, I haven't really dealt with anything like that. But as you really take a look at what it is, I'm sure you may have experienced it or saw it somewhere in the family. When I was coming up, in the 60s and the 70s, there was so much going on in the home that was not discussed. What goes on in this house stays in this house. But I say those family secrets lead to generational curses. And it's up to someone to speak up. It's up to someone to be bold and courageous and speak to the elephant in the room. So we know that abuse occurs when the parent or parents, caretaker, inflict or allow someone else to inflict serious physical injury on someone. Um, intentional or accidental, and then they don't follow up with the right medical attention. Have you ever heard of or known someone in the home that have abused someone and no one spoke up about it? So this is real. And then I think about our children when they go off to school and all of the things that is being forced on them by our public school systems, even private schools. I mean, all schools have their issues because what? We have a sin issue, a sin problem. And no matter what area of life we are in, there is a sin issue or problem somewhere. But today I want to take a look at the first family in the Bible, and I'm going to Genesis chapter 4, verses 3 through 8. Genesis chapter 4, verses 3 through 8, and I'm reading out of the New King James Version, and it says, when it was time for the harvest, Cain presented some of his crops as a gift to the Lord, and Abel also brought a gift, the best portions of the firstborn lambs from his flock. The Lord accepted Abel and his gift, but he did not accept Cain and his gift. This made Cain very angry, and he looked dejected. Why are you so angry? The Lord asked Cain. Why do you look so dejected? You will be accepted if you do what is right. But if you refuse to do what is right, then watch out. Sin is crouching at the door, eager to control you, but you must subdue it and be its master. One day, Cain suggested to his brother, let's go into the fields. And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. Cain killed his brother. What would make a sibling kill their brother? Anger. But why was he angry with his brother? That is the question. Why was he so angry? Uh, so we don't know why Cain killed his brother. We know that he brought his gift, but it wasn't his best. And Abel brought his best gift. We don't know what mood Cain was in on that day. What set him off on that day? I mean, was this the first time he didn't bring his best gift to God? But God said that if you do what is right. So was it just in the gift? Something else was going on with Cain. And I want you to consider, how when, moms are having their babies or dads are having their babies, they have these favorites. But there's something about that last child, right? That baby. In that instance, at that moment in time, it was just the two of them, Cain and Abel. But Abel was the baby. Can you imagine what's going on? The jealousy that was brewing there. And of course, the anger set in. They probably paid special attention to him because he was the baby, right? Jealousy leads to anger. We have that jealousy, we have the bitterness, we have the hatred, and it all leads to murder. That's why we have to be careful when we are angry about someone. Don't let the sun go down on your wrath, right? We got to take care of those issues that we have not dealt with that has caused that anger to reside in our heart. And we know that God asked him, why are you so angry? Why is your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? If you do not do well, sin lies at the door. It's a desire for you. Sin has a desire for each and every one of us. And whenever we yield to the flesh, sin will yield. And we know that once we sin, it yields to death. It may not be physical, but it leads to death with something within our members. Cain was angry and jealous because God the Father accepted Abel's gift but not Cain's. But this anger, God pointed out that something was wrong within his heart, his attitude. Instead of Cain repenting at that moment, he let his feelings get the best of him and kill his brother. The enemy is looking and waiting for opportunity for us to let that anger, that spirit, overtake us to harm someone else. But what would make a brother kill a brother? There was something else going on in the relationship. Cain was fed up with his brother because God had accepted Abel's gift. But I'm sure you've seen this before in the home, the sibling rivalry. There was an underlying issue going on within the family structure that had not been dealt with. I mean, we see this in the news all of the time. Children killing parents, parents killing children, siblings killing one another because of anger. But something happened to lead up to the anger. So, in this group that we are in, talking about healing that emotional trauma, that emotional damage, we have to take responsibility for whatever it is, that feeling that we are feeling, and we've got to do something about it. Don't just let it sit there and fester. Don't just sit there and ignore it. Act as if it does not exist. You have to handle it. You have to confront it. They say handle your pain or handle your trauma before it handles you, because it will. It's going to come up again. It's going to come up again. When you least expect it, it's going to come up again. And people will be looking at you like, well, where did that come from? Or you may even say to yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I thinking this? You know that there is an issue there. So take care of the anger, any frustrations in your life. Take care of it before it takes care of you. So that's the first family I wanted to take a look at, about why was Cain so angry? There had to be something else going on within that family unit. We never know what's going on in someone's home. We usually find out after the fact, right? When it's on the news. You have no idea what people are going through. So be kind. Be kind as you interact with people throughout your day. And always remember, you can get through what you are going through, but you must do the work in order to become a new you. Have an awesome day. Bye bye.